Hi friends, I want to talk to you today about why I'm involved in community and what that looks like to me. I have a lot of questions about how do you decide which nonprofit or where do you go to volunteer. For me, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals was that driving force. In 2014, a group from National came to Denver and asked us to rebuild a chapter and get involved from our local community. I got on that board. And I started working in 2014, just really being involved, being a secretary and taking notes and all those good things. Still giving back, but I didn't feel like I was doing something. Until 2015, when the Hispanic Wealth Project came out, and some of these disciplines that we're going to talk about today were shared as an initiative. My name is Marta. I'm a real estate practitioner. I have banking background, mortgage experience, and I've been a realtor since 2006. The Hispanic Wealth Project Symposium is where I got really excited. In 2016, I got on a plane from Denver and I went to New York City on an overnight. My interest had been so sparked. I'm also a teacher. And so look at these disciplines. And right now I'm going to talk to you about the NAHREP 10, which is really kind of a culmination of all of these different pieces, but they're very intertwined. And so Number 10 talks about how we can be involved in the lives of our familia and our children. I've got my own 2 kids, so I've taken pieces of this and used that with my own kids at home, my students in my classrooms. And number 10, I think conceptually of children and youth as a way to build our community. So what does that mean? It means that back in 2016, I went to this symposium and I was using this information already in classrooms. So what I did is I took this same poster that you see behind me, and I had that just printed off at a local print shop. And then I had the smaller version. This is the lesson plan that I created for our school district. And so because I was working with Spanish for Spanish speakers or heritage speakers, we did a lot of translation warm-ups, prompts. And this one was simply just using that NAHREP 10, letting kids do individually a translation. And what we know in our community is there's different words to say different things. So that in itself was an interesting exercise. If you think about number 1, we talk about understanding wealth and prosperity. Just the word wealth created conversation. Riqueza. What does that really mean? There's a language block in English for English speakers who really just don't know what wealth means or prosperity means and defining it, but then within our own community. So took those and went through each one of those, had some discussion about it, and then I asked students to say, for their own lives, and do a writing exercise, because a lot of that is, and this is all in Spanish language, because grammar and academic and use is very important when we go into higher levels of academia and business. And so then we had each of them choose which one is most important, and or have they heard these conversations, or they know somebody in their life that this has meaning for. So it could have been number 8. This would be a really great time at the beginning of the year. My family right now has made a goal to go walking at the park every week. Or once a month, we're going to go do some outdoor activity that really gets us together, physically fit, coming together with our family, etc. So after going through what each goal was specifically, then we shared those out and talked about why is that important and what could you do. One of these pieces of NAHREP 10 disciplines really requires some accountability. It requires somebody on your side, somebody who's willing to have these conversations. Because for a lot of our communities, wealth is not a normal conversation. Finance is not a normal conversation. Investments is not a typical conversation at our dinner tables. And so this really gives us a way for educators or agencies, etc., to just bring that into daily conversation. So the last piece of that exercise, and I've done in a lot of different presentations, both for educators and students alike, and community members and our local realtor association, is I created this little note card. So one side has English, one side has Spanish. Again, the same PDF that's available to our NAHREP members. And what I've done with that then is ask those students, in that case, write a little card to someone in your family that you think could benefit, or a friend, or a colleague, or a mentor, that could benefit from one of these NAHREP disciplines, and pay it forward and use it to create conversations and get that accountability. Because if we don't share this information, we don't get to change the world. We don't get to change dialogues. We don't get to change the way that Hispanic Latino demographic is discussed and the the rhetoric that goes around. We are a very positive part of this community. And that's why I want to be a NAHREP 10 trainer.